Hey, good morning, good morning. How y'all doing? Well, if you are a fan of my page or YouTube channel, you can see that I was talking about the other night laying in bed and thinking about the coffee cup thing, and then all of a sudden this idea came up that I was going to tell stories so my kids and my grandkids knew a little bit more about their grandpa or their dad. So anyway, I don't wasn't sure where I was going to start. First of all, I'm going to be jumping around. I got ADHD, or at least a form of it, I'm sure. Um, so, anyway, I want to start with story number one and the beginning. I was hatched. No, not really. All right. So, first of all, my kids call me dad, of course, but my grandkids call me Grandpa Go Go. So, we'll get into that story down the road. But so I made a list. That's more than one page. I got lots of stories. I'm full of them. I'm full of everything else. Yes, I'm bald. No, I'm not bald. I have a reverse mohawk. Okay, so we got that out of the way. Anyway, hey, I just turned, I'll be 68 in July. My younger brother Daniel, who is going to be part of this story, he just turned 65 on the 13th. So this goes out to everybody, actually. But mainly for my children and my grandchildren and Katie Glenn, my great grandchild. So I got thinking the other day about all my childhood stuff with my brother Daniel and Bill. Um, Bill and I and Dan didn't do a lot together, unless it was family. But Daniel and I were the original dynamic duo. We did everything together. And I say everything. We played ping pong in the basement. We played with all the other kids in the neighborhood. Uh, the Sacks, the aunties, and Grossos, and just everybody in the neighborhood. Anyway, neighborhood, Walden and Central Avenue in Lancaster. Markey, Edward, Bottomer, Summit. We lived at 43 Bottomer. Around the corner from us, there was this three-story building. And it was glass windows up top, about the second or third story up. I don't remember exactly. And those windows were probably 2 foot wide, 24 inch by 36 inch, big windows. And Dan and I were into some mischief a little earlier than that. Just another half block over or so, at the mobile gas station, there was a wooden fence. Well, between that wooden fence and where they would back the Vernon's soda truck in, they never locked those sides of the roll doors. We drank a lot of free Vernon's back then. I'm drinking coffee now. Well, anyway, we were coming back from there and we got this idea that we, hey, see if you can hit that top window. So we picked up rocks and started throwing rocks. And of course, we did hit it. We hit 4 or 5 or 6 other ones. Never thought anything. We thought it was an abandoned building. Well, we found out later it was not an abandoned building. There was a bicycle shop on the first, up in the corner, we found out later. And somebody told the owner who these kids were that were busting their windows. Sure enough, they came to the house, talked to Dad. Yeah, we ended up paying for those windows in more than one way. But Dan and I did other things together. I mean, we were always throwing something. You ever see the trains go by on the train tracks and the car carriers, and they got the sheet metal covering? You know what I'm talking about. Dan and I are responsible for that, we think. Well, at least in some way. We used to go up the railroad tracks. So it used to be New York Central, which turned to Penn Central, Lackawanna, and then Lehigh Valley. So the closest tracks to us was New York Central, and there were 2 tracks. And then I think Lehigh Valley or Lackawanna had 2 tracks. and then Lehigh Valley only had one track. So anyway, there was a tire recycler up behind Hinchy Avenue. Central Avenue, Hinchy was about 3 blocks away. We used to make tree forts up there, or not tree forts, but forts out of the tires. But when the trains came by, we used to throw rocks at the cars, trying to break the windows on the cars that were on the train cars. Yeah, yeah, mischief kids. Oh, so you've seen that movie Stand By Me, where those 4 kids walking on railroad tracks and they find a dead body. Well, Dan and I never found a dead body, but we did a lot of crazy stuff. The other one was about 5 blocks down Walden Avenue. There was a car lot. Well, it was really a truck lot. So he had pickup trucks and some vans and some utility trucks and that kind of stuff. And was found out later it was Donald Carl Cardinal's dad's lot. Anyway, during the wintertime, we would throw snowballs at snow cars going down Walden Avenue. Yeah, crazy. But we would run in between the trucks, up and down, sideways. And then we would find a vehicle or two that had unlocked doors that we could jump into. I remember this one, but thank God we found the van, right? So car goes by, throw snowballs. Well, this one time, more than once, but this guy not only stopped, he jumped out and ran after us. So we ran into the truck lot from the front and jumped in this. I remember it being a white van, and we jumped in the slider door and shut it and locked it. Thank God he didn't find us. That's just one of those neighborhood stories. And I know this is going to be a little long, but had to get started somewhere. So this Donald R. Turlington story, number 1, childhood. There's more adventures coming. There's more stories coming. Did we ever learn? Yeah, we grew out of that. Throwing rocks, we grew out. I have stories about me being a kid at 20, 21 years old. The motorcycle jump. Yeah. All right, y'all. Have a great day. I'll post this shortly. Bye.